Hello, it's Polish Paul VR, welcome to the channel. We are here today to talk about big 3 upcoming PlayStation VR2 games: Resident Evil Village, Horizon Call of the Mountain and Gran Turismo Sport. We're wrapping up all the hands-on impression. I'm gonna give you all the info what you need to know about those games, the price, release date, the length of the games, the stuff what you can do, how the VR version gonna work, and everything else you want to know, because I've got it all here, and of course plenty of PSVR2 gameplay footage. And as you can see, we're starting from the Resident Evil Village. When the game releases, it's gonna be 22nd of February. It's gonna be ready just in time for the PlayStation VR2 launch date. If you own the Resident Evil Village, then this is going to be a free upgrade. Of course, you have to have PS5 version. But if you got PS4 version and own PS5, then of course you can upgrade PS4 version to PS5 version, and then that version can get PSVR2 support. So it's just basically going to be a patch. It's gonna be full campaign in virtual reality, no DLC and no mercenaries, only the story mode, but still plenty and plenty of content. The game had quite a makeover when it comes to the VR support. A lot of physical based actions added. Let's speak first of all about maybe how you're gonna fight your enemies. So yes, you're gonna have to reach down to your hip to pull up your pistol, but also to reload it, it's gonna be done manually. So you're gonna have to reach out to your hip to grab the magazine and yank it into the pistol, and of course do all the other actions in order to reload. So when the things getting heated up, this is gonna add this bit of panic. Of course you can use a knife. It's not made for combat, but they did add physics to all the weapons, including the knife, so you can throw it at enemies this time around as well. You can also swap hands. We're gonna come back to that in a minute. Cutscenes, as you can see here, they're gonna be in full virtual reality as well. In Resident Evil 7, the game will be pulling you out of the game and presenting cutscenes as a flat screen. Here it's all in VR, but the game takes control of your head movement. So might feel a bit weird, but I'm sure you're gonna get used to it. When it comes to the, maybe let's say what Eurogamer said about the PSVR2 version, because they done little chat about it and said it leaps above the PC virtual reality mod. So a lot of interaction and all the interactive objects in Resident Evil Village can be interacted with by physical actions. So you can pick up everything, look around it and stuff like that. Everything got physics added to it. Also, the scale compared to PC mod is a proper scale as well. PC mod, I think everything was a bit off scale down there. When it comes to combat, you can see here a bit on the background, but you are blocking physically. You can pick your hands, which is your dominant hand, so left and right. You basically can swap your weapons as long you know which ones you feel. Some people are left-handed. You can do that in this game. There is plenty of gun physics. You can throw magazine and try to grab it, you know, with your pistol, so it's like lands inside it. So that's pretty cool as well. All the PlayStation VR2 features are added to the game: headset haptics, headset rumble, let's say you're gonna have, and of course advanced controller haptics. When it comes to the length of the game, Resident Evil Village is about, let me just come back to the village here. Resident Evil Village is about 19 hours long to just complete the story mode. Maybe 11, but also to do everything in the game takes about well over 30 hours, and you can speedrun the game because it's got this arcadey vibes as well. Some people can do it 6, maybe even less hours, so it's up to you, but gonna be great PlayStation VR2 experience. Now let's move on to the another game, and let's talk a bit about Horizon VR Call of the Mountain. So you're not playing as Aloy in that one, you're playing as Reyes, a disgraced military person who tries to redeem itself. But you get to meet Aloy along the way, because the action of this game is set during the first Horizon game, Horizon Zero Dawn. When it comes to the exploration of the world, it's not open world, but it's kind of place like your Tomb Raider or Uncharted. So you've got multiple paths to choose from, and that's your exploration bits. And also in those exploration bits, as you can see on the screen, there is a lot of climbing, which gonna add nice sense of height to the virtual reality. free. When it comes to the price, the game is priced at $59.99 if you buy it separately. There is a disc version listed on Play Asia, but you cannot pre-order it yet, so I'm not sure if they're gonna do it or is it a wrong listing, but it's down there. So yeah, I spoke about the exploration, but it's got another part of this game, which is combat, which is done a bit differently. You can see it here. So basically you kind of enter in like a arena where you on one with enemy, and the game kind of puts you on rails, so you have to swipe and do hand movements in order to move from side to side and dodge the attacks. Of course, all your actions are still physically based, but you kind of stuck in this on this circular, let's call it a rail. Locomotion is done with sticks, or you can use hand movement to imitate real-life locomotions. The developer told IGN that the game, for just the story, is about 6 to 7 hours long. 6 to 7 hours of story mode. There is some probably, you know, side bits to do as well, but they didn't say how long those gonna take. Everything in this game is done physically, the objects you get to pick up and stuff like that, you know, even the healing you're gonna eat, you have to actually put food to your mouth to eat. So yeah, very interesting. Horizon looking very cool, and of course this is yet another PlayStation VR2 launch title. We see what it's gonna be and how this combat, how the veterans gonna like it, let's say. And last but not least, another PlayStation VR2 launch title, and this is gonna be a free upgrade for the owners of Gran Turismo 7, the PlayStation VR2 version. This is the full game in virtual reality, apart from the split screen mode, because of course you cannot connect to PSVR2s to one PlayStation, plus of course they wouldn't have resources to render that much, but they added brand new mode, which lets you look at the cars up close. It's called VR Showroom. They've added some details to the cars, you can flip the switches and stuff like that and play around with it. And that's your brand new mode exclusive to virtual reality. There's over 10 environments where you can put your car in this mode. Graphically, many people who had those hands-on saying there is no cutbacks to this game, and apparently it looks beautiful. It renders 120 frames per second, but they achieved by reprojection, so the game actually uses 60 frames per second, runs at 60 frames, but then it's reprojected to 120. You can use steering wheel, so if you own one, get ready. If you don't own one, if you can, get yourself one. But also you can use DualSense controller, and that's including the 6 up-axis movement, which means you can tilt your controller to imitate steering wheel moves. The game does not support the DualSense controllers. Menus in this game are flat screen, and PSVR2 in the flat screen in cinematic mode runs at 1080p, which leads me to think that menus in this game gonna run at 1080p. The people who had hands-on with the game said the menus was a bit blurry, but the transitions from menus to VR mode is pretty much seamless. Now the game got story mode, and those are the cafe books. There's plenty of them, I think about 40 plus some bonus one. But basically, to do main story, you're looking at about 25 hours of single-player gameplay. To do it all, what game got on offer, around 120 hours, plus of course the game supports multiplayer, which will be playable in virtual reality as well. Autosport, a leading UK motorsport magazine, which is not concentrating on games but on proper racing, they saying this game it's a revelation and it's something amazing what it's been achieved for the racing games. Others saying the game is enhancing the Gran Turismo 7, other people who had hands-on with it, and the series creator says that this is a beginning of new era for the virtual reality and Gran Turismo. So that's your all the info you need to know about those games. Let me know what you're thinking, let me know if you're gonna pick up all those free. Before I go, big shout out to all the patrons, you are all awesome, and that's it. Bye 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 bye.